Okay, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Morning,
Morning,
sir.
sir.
Good
Morning,
morning,
sir.
sir.
All right, so in our last class, which was the asynchronous one, we took a look at how to add and multiply decimals. But we learned how to multiply decimals by powers of 10, right? So we learned how to multiply by 10, by 100, by 1,000, by tens of thousands, and so on. All right, so let us complete the word that I gave, and we would take a look at how to multiply decimals by other numbers rather than just 10. So number one, we had we have 4, 4 plus 7, and 7 is 14. 2 and 1 is 3, and remember we had 1 left over from the 14, so this is 4 here as well, and well, let's have nothing else to add up. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one tells us to add 384.94, and so 384.94, and you want to add 17.348. Right, so we can just put a 0 here, adding up. 0 and 8 is 8, 4 and 4 is 8, 9 and 3 is 12 points, so you have 12. 4 and 7 is 11, and 1 is also 12. You have 12 again. 8 and 1 is 9, and 1 is 10. And then finally, 3 and 1 is 4. So that's our answer, 402.2888. Right? I will do the other one. I'll do number 4. Right? So number 3 should be straightforward. Right? So I'll do number 4. Right? Just for the sake of time. 686.4. 686.4 minus 199.61. That's just like 40. So we have to take 1 from this, so this would be 3. 10 and 1. 10 subtract 1 is 9. 3 cannot subtract 6, so we have to take 1 from here. 13 from 6, well, 6 from 13 is 7. 5 cannot subtract 9, so we take 1 from this, so we have 7. 9 from 15 is 6. 7 cannot subtract 9, so we take 1 from here. And 9 from 17 is 8. And well, 5 subtract 1, that is 4. So that is our answers. All right, so I'm not going to do number 3. You can handle that one. And okay, so number 5, we want to multiply that by 100. All right, so I'll do these right here. So to multiply a number by 100, we just move the decimal point 2 places to your right. So this would be 36.2. This one, you move the decimal 3 places. 1, 2, 3. It's essentially like you're moving the decimal places, the number of zeros that you have. All right, but this is a trick with only 10. So the answer would be 324. You want to multiply this number by 10, the rule still applies. You move it 1 space, so this is equal to 14.14. This one, you have to move the decimal place 3 places. So this is 866.0. All right, so this is the solutions to the problems, right? And remember, division is similar, but they're just going to your left instead. The exact same way that we multiply, we divide, but we just move to a different direction. So you move left. All right, for example, if you had 0.892 divided by 1,000, that is equal to 1, 2, 3. So like 0.12. So that'll be 0.0000892. All right, we just move the decimal point that way instead. Okay, so we want to take a look at multiplying decimals by other numbers rather than just base 10. All right, so anybody, you have an idea how we could multiply decimals with normal numbers? Right? No, we're just multiplying decimals by whole numbers. Anybody have an idea how to do it? Let's see. So,
So you're counting the total number of decimal places in your numbers, right? Like when you're multiplying it, and then you're gonna move the decimal points in the product place to the left for each decimal place that you counted in the thing.
all right, that is correct, right? So if we have, so example, if we had 1.42 and we want to multiply that by 5, right? There are two ways they could go about doing it, right? They could do it. You could realize that this is the same as 142 multiplied by 5. Find that thing, and then you're dividing that by 100 because you essentially multiply this by 100, right? So to undo that, you divide it by 100. But what I think you all would have learned it as is just ignore the decimal place, count the decimal place and ignore it for now, and then put it back, right? Look at this. So if I was to do that, so 5 2s are 10, 5 4s are 20, and 1 is 21. 5 1s are 5, and 2 is 7. Right? Now this is 710. Now, since I had two decimal places here, according to what you told me just now, I need to put my point here, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. But isn't that the same as moving the decimal point from here to here?
Yes, sir.
So it's the same as dividing by 100. So what you was doing all along is just multiplying this by, well, ignoring the decimal places, just multiplying by the number of tens that you need, and then you divide it by it at a later time, right? So this is how we multiply decimals and whole numbers. The second way, right? The second way is to write it as a fraction, because we saw how to go from decimals to fractions. This is the same as 142 divided by 100, right? Because actually I will leave that conversion up to all there. How did I get this here? Anybody know anybody know how I got this as a fraction?
No, sir.
All right. Well, this is essentially 142 hundredths, right? Remember, this is tenths and hundredths here
Yes,
in
sir.
place value, right? So this is 142 hundredths, which is this. Or if you want, right, just like how you did the thing here, you could multiply this by 100, right? 142, but is that the same number? Is 142 the same as 1.42?
No, sir.
No. So what I did there is change my question, but I do not want to change the question. So I need to account for multiplying by 100, I need to divide by 100, right? You need to
Yes,
divide by
sir.
100. So this is the fraction, right? There are many ways you can go about getting the fraction, right? So we will use this one for now. Right, so if you multiply by 5, this is like 5 over 1. We see 19 that could cancel. Well, yeah. Well, first I could cancel the 5 and the 100, so this will be 20. But we remember to multiply fractions, right? I hope so.
Yes, sir.
Right, so then we have 2 into this is 10. 2 into this is how much? 7 71,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
right? And what we have here is 71 over 10. And what is 71 over, well, 71 divided by 10? Is just 71, there's the decimal point, and we move it one space, not so? So it's 7.1,
Yes, sir.
Yes,
which
sir.
is the exact answer we got above, right? So either way is fine, but for the sake of this class right now, since we already finished with fractions, we want to use more decimals. So I would like you all to do the decimal version of this multiplication. Okay, so let's take a next one. Let's take a look at another one. So example 2, let's try 142.2 multiplied by 0.1. Yeah, let's take a look at this one. All right, wait, the heading was whole numbers. Okay, let's not do this one yet. Let's try this one. All right, so let us take a look at this multiplication. All right, so we could do the same trick. We could multiply by 100. So we have 142.24 multiply by 2. And remember, we divided that whole thing by 100. All right, because that was the number of decimal place moved. All right, so we multiply like usual. 4 2s are 8, 2 2s are 4, 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8, and 2 1s are 2. All right, and then we're moving back 2 decimal places here. So the answer for this is 284.48. All right, so everybody understood how to do these things, or anybody want me to go back over next example?
So you can do another example, please.
Of course. All right, so number 3, let's try another one. Let's try a harder one. So let's do 15.402 multiplied by 15. All right, so let's try this one. How much decimal places do I need to move to make this a whole number? Make this a whole number.
3.
3. 3, sir. 3.
So what? How much do I need to multiply by?
1,000.
1,000.
So essentially, what I have is 15.402 multiplied by our 15, and then what we're doing is divided by how much? Well, 1,000. Right, because we just multiply by 1,000. So to keep everything equal, we need to divide by the 1,000. We can't just multiply by 1,000 and forget decimal places, just so. Right? So multiplying this out. Right? Well, we're multiplying by 10 here. So we have to put a 0. So 2 ones are 2, 0, 1 0 is 0, 1 4 is 4, 1 5 is 5, 1 1 is 1. Right? So I'll finish with this multiplying like this one. So with this one now, 5 2s are 10, 5 zeros are 0 and 1 is 1, 5 4s are 20, 5 5s are 25 and 2 is 27, 5 1s are 5 and 2 is 7. So yeah, adding up 0 3 0 11. So you have to add 1 to this, so that is 6 plus 7 is 13, 1 and 1 is. So we need to divide this thing by 1,000. Right, so how do we do that? We just move the decimal place back 3. So this would be equal to 231.030. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, so everybody understood this, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So um so I would like you all to try some of these questions to me. So try these. Okay, so let's take a look at the solutions for these. So for number 1, right? Anybody want to give me the answer of the bat? Anybody know the answer? I think they got the correct answer.
51.48.
51.48. All right, so let's see if that's the answer. So we have 2.34 multiplied by, well, we ignore the point, right? But we multiply by 100 essentially, and we want to multiply that by 22. Right, so we want to divide that by 100. Right, so multiplying usually, so we put the 0 here because we're multiplying by something in the tens column. 2 by 4 is 8, 2 3s are 6, 2 2s are 4. 4 2s are 8. Well, we just basically getting like that. All right, so we get 8 here. 8 and 6 is 14. Right, so 6 and 4 is 10. And then 1 from the 14 will give us 11. And 4 and 1 is 5. All right, so the answer, because we have to divide by 100, is 51.48, which is what we said, well, which was what all said it was, right? That's good. So 4.43 multiplied by 13, 4.43 multiplied by 13. Right, so we ignoring the point, we surplusing the point, and then we divide it by 100 after. Right, so we have 0, well, multiplying by 1, that is not bad. 3 3s are 9, 3 4s are 12, 3 4s are 12, and 1 from the 12 before will give us 13. Adding up, we have 9, 5, 7, 5. Divided by 100, we have 57. 57.59. Right, to 3. We have 5.49 multiplied by 130. At 549 multiplied by 30. Now there was a trick with this one, is 130, sorry. Right? This is like 13 by 10, right? 10 by 13. Not so?
Yes, sir.
Right. So if I multiply this by 10, what do I get? Not 54.9. So this, I could have done this as well, and I think this would have been a little bit quicker because they're multiplying by hundreds down there. But in case we didn't notice that, it's fine. All right. So let's see what that would be. All right. So remember, we multiplied by 100, so we need to remember to divide by it. I remember we need to divide by that. So we have multiplying by hundreds. So we have to put 2 zeros, and we have 9, 4, 5. Because we're multiplying by 1. Right? So with 3s, we multiply by 10s in the tens column. So we have 3 9s are 27, 3 4s are 12, and 2 is 14. 3 5s are 15, and 1 is 16. Right, so you have 0, 7, 13, 11, and then we have 6, and 1 is 7. Remember, when to divide by the 100, you'll get 713.70. Right, and number 4, finally, and that will take us to the end of the video. Number 4, 16.749 multiplied by 19. 16.749 multiplied by 19. All right, so we have, well, 16,749 multiplied by 19. And remember, we want to divide by what after?
100.
No, not 100. This would be
1,000.
1,000. Right, it will be 1,000.
Okay.
Right? So don't get accustomed to doing one thing over and over. That you have to understand what is going on generally. Right? So we had 3 decimal places, so we multiply by 1,000. So for this one, we multiply by 10 columns. So we have 9, 4, 7, 6, 1. Right, multiply by 1s. So 9 9s are 81. So let's be working. 81. 9 4s are 36, and 8 is 44. So you have 44 here. 9 7s are 63, and 4 is 67. You have a 7 here. 9 6s are 54, and 6 is 60. So you have 60 here. 9 1s are 9, and 6 is 15. Adding up, so we have 1, 13, 11 and 1 is 12, 7 and 1 is 8, 6 and 5 is 11, 1 and 1 is 2, and 1 is 3. So this would be, remember, dividing by 1,000, 1, 2, 3. So the final answer will be 318.231. All right, and that concludes the class today. Any questions on this before we go?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
All right, so thank you for coming.